Hi, this is Laura Lee Stone, and I would really appreciate any workers' comp stories where you were injured and you were denied either by the City of Whittier or other big companies. I also had problems at my school district, and I'd like to just share some of the documents with you, and if somebody out there knows how to upload or have a place where I can have these documents stored online, I would greatly appreciate any help. And again, please email any stories that you're legitimately hurt and companies that denied you, and email them to lauradonnie@yahoo.com. Also, this is a continuation. I can only upload in 10-minute increments. So this is don't judge a book by its cover. You cannot tell physically by looking at me. Like sometimes I can dance a few dances a night, but it ends up taking me like a day or two sometimes to recover, where I have to lay down on heat and ice and ongoing continuous therapies. So I want to just document some of the doctors I've been to and the doctors from the City of Whittier, to name the ones that basically committed fraud. And I really need you to listen and see some of the documentation where they had said that I was mostly complaining about headaches because I had told them about a previous injury, and so they were trying to say nothing was wrong, but if there was, 75% of it was from an injury I had told them about, and I did not have neck problems. I just had where it felt like a vice on my head, and that's documented. And whereas they're the doctors for the City of Whittier that committed fraud were Dr. Chambers, Dr. K Misto, Dr.Joel Ruffman, and Dr. Stephen Ma. And another thing I wanted to mention is I'm trying to get help for our government to okay prolotherapy. My niece had told me it recently had been on Dr. Oz, and they showed a young boy who could barely walk. Those treatments have helped me to at least stay out of pain for 2.5 to 3 years, but I need them continuously because I have 5 herniated discs, fibrosis of the left scapula, now calcium deposits on my shoulder, spinal stenosis, disc degeneration, and chronic cervical thoracic myofascial pain. And also just to inform people that all tests are not accurate. Some of the tests showed things, some did not. And eventually, though, all the things that were found were a variety of different tests. So I'd like you to know my attorney was Felix McNulty, who I believe must have been paid off because I had won the case after 10 years. And I was trying to get another attorney to help me, Annie Peranzin, and my own attorney, Felix McNulty, located at Costa Mesa on 17th Street, emptied his offices and hid my file and handed them to Robert Lenzini. And this is just a list of some of the doctors. These are medical report files. And here, MD Coates that is the City of Whittier Doctor. K Misto, Donald Bach, Joel Ruffman, Donald Bach, David Askew, Andrew Robbins. Some of these names are for MRIs, CAT scans, X-rays. Gerald Gagnon, Charles Davis, QME. Gerald McCann was from the Department of Rehab, State of California, that found all sorts of restrictions and my fibrosis in the left scapula area. Stephen Ma, the City of Whittier, which said my main complaints were headaches, which is a lie. John Freeman, MD. Stephen Kaploff, H. Philip Hahn. Deborah Reed from LACC. I found cervical disc disease. Venice Smith, which said I'm a candidate for manipulation under anesthesia for chronic spasms. Sheila Herod, which documented I have bilateral rotator capsulitis and acromioclavicular syndrome. Lynn Edward Wilson was the doctor for the Whittier Union High School District, which had gotten a hold of one of my daughter's school reports when she was at Ocean View, was reading out personal information out loud with the doors open at his office, and I started yelling and told him to tear it up. He would not. Eventually he gave me the documentation, said he could get in trouble for privacy. Nothing was ever done. Jaime Foland, who finally took a lien for the first shots I had with prolotherapy, which were a great benefit. It got me through 2 more years of work, and I was able to finally hold my granddaughter without dropping her. Dr. Chambers, who I later found out my chiropractor sent me to, but found out he was actually a Fleming and Associate insurance company doctor. That is basically what I learned from Tri-Cities ROP. And Mr. Mitchell, he had stated also regarding Dr. Melvin B. Coates, his good friend, he did not know I was in a workers' comp thing with him, and I asked a question. He said basically they are paid to find nothing wrong with the workers' comp victims, and excuse me, but that is fraud. And I believe the code is LC 4650.1. If someone has that knowledge too, is where it is a felony to deny a worker their benefits for claim, and it's $50,000 penalty and or 6 months in jail for denying a worker their benefits, which nothing was done. The state bar did nothing. My own attorney, there have been numerous complaints, and the judge Zimmerman and all the people at Santa Ana Courthouse knew that things were going wrong and have done nothing through the years. Again, here the City Whittier Doctors falsified that I was complaining of headaches, which was a total lie. Dr. Thrope, a Christian doctor I had gone to, had given me muscle stim, but one time had only done it on the left side where I have fibrosis and major pain. I had ended up with a 2nd and 3rd degree burn. This here is from LACC, Deborah Reed, and this documents my diagnosis as myofascial pain syndrome, segmental dysfunction of the cervical spine, thoracic, and the SI joint, including cervical disc disease. So just because a person can move or can occasionally lift something does not mean nothing's wrong. And this one here is from John Freeman. His final diagnosis is actually, I will try to read